So, most of you have been watching my channel for a while now, and if you haven't, welcome. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. But I have been cash stuffing, budgeting, talking about low-income finance on this channel for 3 years now, and I'm going to be honest. Everyone thinks that this is the hardest part of budgeting. Where all the bills are at, who got paid when and where, what check it came out of, all the different things. How often do you put money into your sinking funds, like your car maintenance, emergency fund, house repairs and stuff? You think that that's the hardest part to control, right? And then from time to time, you want to splurge a little because the holidays are coming and it's going to be Halloween time and you have children. Or maybe you don't and you want to buy decorations or just live a little bit. This is not the hardest part of budgeting for me. And truthfully, even though I've had a few slip-ups in the month of September with my budget due to lacking of hours at my $14.05 an hour fast food job, and my husband losing hours as well at his customer service-esque job. This is not the hardest part of budgeting, because the truth is we can delegate the bills. Everybody gets paid by the end of the month. No one is left behind. Not one of these bills is left unpaid. Because of the fact that we need all these things to continue to live on to the next month. Can't do without them. So, this is the hardest part for me. I need to figure this out because I'm on a low income. And as times get tougher and hours became more and more scarce, I just quit thinking about how much I was spending in certain areas. Now, I never went truly overboard. I wasn't putting food on a credit card. We weren't going to McDonald's. We weren't the drive-through Chick-fil-A. But I wasn't tracking as best as I could. And we'll be honest, there is a lot of things going on when it comes to figuring out your weekly expenses. I'm talking groceries, fuel, household supplies, pet supplies, money for the family, how much can the kids spend, what are you going to do in a pinch? Do you have a oh shit moment where you really need that money? Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I think I'm starting to get sick. So, I have my hot coffee here and I may be sipping on it from time to time, but we're going to go over how I'm going to do better with this and what I think that I actually need each and every week to cash stuff in the wallets that I have here. Now, you don't have to budget this way because maybe you don't want cash, but when I see cash, it's easier for me to not spend it than it is to spend it, because you realize, you only have so much. But there are some things in this economy that no one's being honest about in this budgeting community, and that is that things like groceries and fuel are hard to budget for right now because prices are constantly changing. But I do have some things on my side, and I do have an unfortunate thing to share as well. So, let's start with my budget sheet. Now, I created this myself. It is a weekly cash stuffing sheet. Now, I'm hoping that I can have the finances to be able to do this on a regular basis. But, I'm on a low income, disclosure. Sometimes, I may only have this to stuff every 2 weeks. The hope is that it would be every week, but I can't tell what my crystal ball is going to tell me. in the future, the one that's non-existent, right? So I have 2 sections. I have 1 and 2 wallets because I have myself to cash stuff for and my husband. And as a matter of fact, he does really good with this wallet and actually asked me why we weren't going back to it. And I said, well, we are, but we're in a pickle right now and we're just waiting on paychecks. Okay. Now, I have gotten paid since I have said that I was on the struggle bus. And we're going to be doing Save Day Sunday because I did go out and do a little DoorDash. I'm not talking about getting it delivered to me. I'm talking about I deliver it to you. Okay? Or whomever. But I have 1 section for me, 1 section for him. I also have sinking funds that I could budget for weekly, along with other expenses that I may want to put money towards, or maybe I have a family event, or maybe it's picture day at school, or a book fair, or maybe we want to do a little Save Day Sunday, right? So I thought about it deeply, and I made a pre-budget of this, and I scrapped it. I threw it away because it wasn't realistic. I cannot afford to stuff $326 a week into wallets. That's not my income. And if you're watching this and you're low income, and it might not be you either, because it all really adds up. So if I did $326 a week times 4 weeks, why did it do that? Oh, 326 times, Amanda, 326 times 4, that's $1,300 and counting that I don't have every month to spend because I'm low income. But we're going to go over this category by category. Now, some of these are not mandatory, and I don't have to stuff them, and we have had many of moments in time, especially in the last few months, where we've had 0 money to spend on some of these categories. But we have groceries. For myself, we'll put A next to this one, J next to that one for Jordan. Fuel. We have family. Someone said that I do not give my children an allowance or money. Well, this is part of it. I hate to say it, but family is mostly them. Household. Pet supplies. Hobbies. Personal. We also have oh no or oh shit, because life happens. So that's my wallet. And then Jordan's looks a little different, but he still has very similar categories. So food, which he will be packing his own food for lunch to work. He just usually starves it out, which is not good, especially if he's going to be picking up some hours. Fuel. Soda, which has really honestly been very slim lately. He's actually been drinking way less soda than ever before. Personal. Date night. Because to have a healthy relationship, you have to be able to spend time together. And sometimes that means spending some money. He also has a hobby envelope, and he has, oh shit, as well. He has less categories than me by 1. But that's only because I have different categories, because he doesn't like to go shopping, really. Let's be honest. He can, and he will. And he has gone to the grocery store many a times. And there will be times where I'll give him a list and he sticks to the grocery budget. Because that's all he has, right? I go, here's the money, honey. And that's what he has. But I actually wondered if he had any money left in here. Let me peruse. Nope, he don't have nothing. Nope. He's broke too. Don't worry, he's broke. So, all in all, what do I actually think on my low income I can spend? Let's go ahead and put a little bit of thought into it. So, I do work in my local area. I will have to do a little bit of driving for my future job at the vet clinic, being a receptionist, kennel cleaner, and hopefully veterinary assistant, not tech assistant. You don't have to have a license in the state of Oregon or most states to be an assistant to a vet. But you do need to be a vet tech to administer certain drugs and do anesthesia and stuff like that. So, which is not really what I'm into right now. I'm just getting my toes wet. I'm going to be an alien for the next month or so working in this clinic. Okay, I've never done it in my life. I've been a fast food burger flipping, gas attendant. I have been in the retail customer service world. I've worked in call centers and all the other things. Just never in this particular field. So I am probably going to be able to survive. And this includes if I do a little DoorDash, because let's be fair, if I made $50, not 500, girl. If I made $50 a day on DoorDash and I used $10 in gas, I still made $40. I can still take my gas money from what I made in that day. So I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about how I'm going to be getting to and from work. And I truly think because our gas prices are high, we are paying right now, current day and time, $4.18 a gallon. Woo! It's a lot of money. I put $10 in the other day, almost died. I thought to myself, ooh, we're pretty much screwed. But I'm going to go ahead and say about $30 a week. If your girl cannot make it to and from my local fast food job and vet clinic on $30, we're in trouble. Because any more than that, and we're breaking the bank. Because Jordan here has to be driving further out of town, like a good hour and 15 minutes. And he's going to need about $45 a week to make it to and from work. So you see how this adds up. 30 plus 45 is $75 a week in gas. Now, if I lived in a city area, and you can tell me I should move all you want, but you got money to move? Because I don't have money to move. Not right here, not in the current time we're living in. Costs a lot more to move than you think. And honestly, I think it cost us around $1,500 just to move from our little apartment, townhome, to this mobile home in itself. You forget about all the things that you have to do. Moving truck, fee. You also have to think about gas. You have to think of time you have to take off. You also have to think of the fact that if you're moving out of your place, that you're going to have to pay at least first month's, last month's deposit, make 3 times the rent in your income if you're going to be a renter. If not, you're going to need to go through the whole home loan process. And you're going to have a down payment. You're going to have to pay a realtor. You're going to have to pay your bank some money for some fees. You're going to have an inspection. You're going to have to do all of these things and wait in escrow before you can actually move into the house and have a set of keys in your hand. And then if you're moving across the United States, you have to sell all your stuff, start over fresh. See what I mean? So don't tell me I need to move right now. So we're on a roll. $75. Okay? So we're going to grab ourselves a hopeful, scratchy little thing to write on. Oh, look. An unfinished savings challenge that I was going to toss. So far, we're at $75 for the week. I know, it's expensive. It's expensive to live here in Oregon. Very expensive. Now, if I shop smart, if I don't go to Costco, if I don't go to Winco, but for the very few things, and if I just do grocery outlet, bargain market, and play my cards right and go to the food pantry once a week, I probably could get by on around $40 a week in groceries, because I'm a cheap date. Okay, so 75 plus 40 now equals, so 75 plus 40, that's $119 right there. That's a lot when you're on a low income. $14.05 after 28% in taxes in the good old state of Oregon seems like a lot of money, right? And then we're going to go on to another thing that looks like it's super important, and that's called family. So if I give both of my children $7 a week, that's $14. And then I have household goods. I could go to the Dollar General, or I can go to the Dollar Tree. The Dollar General is a little bit of a drive, so we have to think of fuel cost. Remember, because we're already traveling. So we'll go ahead and say we're going to go to Dollar General and Dollar Tree, and we're going to give ourselves $10 a week. That's $40 a month. It is what it is. Gonna not have to buy that fine china. Unless you're buying it at the Dollar General for $1. If they even have that. I don't know. I buy cheap shampoo. I'm a bar soap kind of gal. I'm gonna use Dollar Tree toothpaste. Replace my toothbrushes every 3 to 4 months. And don't worry, they're the hand kind, where you gotta work for that clean smile. Okay? Next is going to be, and that's for laundry soap too, $40. Okay? Next is going to pets. Now, I genuinely say I spend about $100 a month on my pet supplies. I get crickets for cheap. Especially when I'm doing pickup, drop off, fun stuff situation in life that's not so fun. Going to an appointment and whatnot, which we'd have to stretch this gas to do, right? But my pets do range probably about $85 a month. If I can get it on sale, I try to do less than that. I'm not going to get rid of my pets because I'm on a low income. If you make a comment like that, it will get deleted. So, if you divide that by 4, that's around $22 rounding up every single week. So, $22. Which honestly isn't all that bad. So, we had our food and our fuel, which is number 1. This is key. Can't do none of this other stuff. if we are not fed and we don't have fuel money to get to work to make more money. Then we've got $14 plus $10 plus 22 is going to be 10 plus 14 plus 22, $46. Okay, so we add that in. So now we're at 165 for the entirety of the week so far. You see how that adds up? You see how it adds up? Okay, so this is the minimum. Okay, this is what we have to have in order to survive. Whoop, almost dropped that. Sorry about that, guys. I know, I got a mess over here in the corner. So this is what we need to survive. And you know, kids don't need money, but they are kids. And they're expensive. So this is what we absolutely need to survive. Okay, so this is like Survivor, the show. Times that by 4. That's still $660 a month. Just on basic stuff to survive. Now, you could say, I shouldn't have had kids because I'm on a low income and I shouldn't have had pets, but we don't need to go there because that's not what this channel is about. So, moving along, Jordan's looking pretty slim over here. Poor guy. He's on a gas budget. He don't even have water budget over here. He's got a fuel budget. Okay, so now we're going to add in food for him. Now, that's not much. $10 a week. Don't buy you much when you're gluten-free and you really can't eat flour products, wheat products, because your body has an autoimmune disorder and really just can't handle it. So you just might want to bring your own food. And if you need to, you keep a hold of that $10 and you keep rolling it over until you actually are in a moment where maybe you get a flat tire and you got to walk to the next taco stand to get tacos because you're waiting for a tow for the next 4 hours. We've been there. We done that already once before. So that's why he was like, give me some sort of food budget, even if it's $10. Okay? Kind of like another oh shit moment. But potentially, you should have stuff with you. Especially if you have food allergies, right? We're going to call it a food allergy and intolerance. Next is going to be sodies. Let's give him $6 because he's a grown man. If he wants to spend $6 on sodas a week, he can do it. But I doubt he will because he's been doing pretty good. Next, we have some personal things that we may each need to purchase. So we'll each get $10 a week. That's $40 a month. So we'll do plus 20 because we'll add it together. And then we have, oh shit, we'll add $5 into that. Because 5 times 52 weeks out of the year is still $260. And between two of us, that's $520. Okay, right? Wait a minute, I felt like that was wrong. 5 times 52 times 2. No, that's right. That's right. So we had plus 10. Okay, now we can add that up. So 10 plus 6 plus 20 plus 10 is $46. plus 165 is $211. Okay, that doesn't leave much for hobbies or any of the other things. So we will each get $5 for hobbies. It's not a lot. And date night is going to get $8. So plus 10 plus 8 is $129. So for wallets, we would do $229. Why did I say 100? $229. Says it on the calculator, Amanda. $229 for wallets alone. Now, maybe there's a week where we can only stuff the basics, which is this, okay? And maybe some weeks we don't need to spend $40, so we're able to roll that over. Anything that is not spent in these wallets can go to savings or to a Costco run or maybe to something else that's needed, maybe medical or dental. Yeah, those should already be in your monthly budget, right? If that's something you got to spend money on, you should be, your prescription should be priority next to food. I don't have to pay for prescriptions at the moment in time until that changes. Okay. Then we go down to sinking funds. Potentially, we have emergency. Then we have a buffer in case something happens, like, oh shit, and we gotta borrow from Peter to pay Paul. We're not putting it on a credit card. Then we have car maintenance. Medical, all the different things. But these are the three basics. This is your basic money. Okay? So remember, this is basic. Now, we have two basic situations of $165 to survive and get to work, and to do the household and whatnot. My goodness, this pen is not dark enough. $165. Looks terrible, but that's okay. We get the point. We see it now. Okay? So your other basics are going to be things like emergency fund, which should get $10. Realistically, $20 a week times 52 weeks is $140, or $1,040, right? 52 weeks, $20 a week, $1,040. 10 times 52 is still $520, which to me on a low income is pretty darn good. Buffer should probably get about the same, but we can probably make it off of $5. This is going to drive me nuts. My OCD says, do it, Amanda. The other ones have zeros next to it. Okay. Adding zeros. But cars are expensive, so you do need to spend or put away $20 a week to make that $1,040 a year to maintain your car, for tires, for oil changes, for unexpected motor vehicle situations. Probably won't cover all of them, but it's something. And if you have an even bigger fund for that, you don't have to worry. So this is a total of $35. So potentially, Lord willing, $165 plus 35 is $200 a week, which is $800 a month. that you should be able to cash stuff away. No matter what, because that's the bare minimum. This is where the dilemma comes into play. What is in your budget? Can you afford this? So sinking funds would be $35, and then other would be save day, Sunday, which we're going to budget $25, which is $100 a month, which is $1,200 a year for savings. And then I have a members, which we can save $15, which again is a total of $40. So $220, $229 plus 35 plus 40 is $304. $304. I could probably slim that down even further, but with prices being so high, I at least need to make sure that our mandatory cash stuffing, no matter what, each and every week is $200. And now we have a baseline for our family of 4 plus our fur babies in line. Because even if I put $1 on all these other ones, still something. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's how I break it down. You don't have to break it down like that. Maybe you just say I have $300 to spend. $304 to be exact. $304 is a lot. So our minimum is going to be up here. And our dream goal is going to be somewhere around this. $200. Maybe we have to save to do some of these other things, especially while we're trying to pay down debt and do our due diligence and making sure we save for our future selves, one way or another, whether it's an emergency fund or something else. That's why for me, all of these banks back here are important, because some of this stuff could get funded by the end of the year. Maybe we have a good emergency fund. Maybe we have a good buffer. Maybe we have $1,000, $1,040 in car maintenance. So next year we don't have to put as much. Maybe we only have to put a little bit. And then we keep doing the same thing over and over again in hopes that it creates consistency. So that is my transparency with you guys. That's how I break it down. That's how I know what I need to do. But as always, you can only do what you can with what you got, because it is really all you have to work with. You saw my calculations. I may have said it wrong a couple times. Lord willing, I'm tired. I'm starting to get sick. The icky sicky is coming. The season is coming. I'm feeling it in my sinuses and in my head and in my ears. So wish me luck. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.